NFT Shorts, of course, we're back at it again. Look, it's the home of NFTs and cryptos. We're getting into something quite interesting again today. As usual, look, if it's your first time here, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button right there. Turn on those notifications, and of course, share this video with your friends. Share it in a group. Check us out on Twitter, I always let you know to come through to the Telegram group, because right now this new Telegram group is going off. We've got such a great community, very friendly and just very helpful. So I definitely would recommend you check us out right there. What we're going to do today is get into a little bit of GameFi. Of course, that's gamification. That's all about video games, game finance. It's pretty great to know that this is actually taking place in this generation. All of these years I spent playing games, and essentially the ROI on gaming was pretty much fun. And it's great to have fun. It's really great to connect with people, but it's also nice to know that you can earn something that you put in, or earn back what you put in, and essentially become part of an ecosystem and keep things flowing. So stick around. We're about to jump into a blockchain game, very brand new. It just came out a couple of days ago, and I wanted it to settle in, to be honest. I wasn't ready to do a review or do a preview, to do an overview. I wanted it to settle. I wanted to take some time for myself to play it, and as well to listen to my community in the Telegram group to see where their heads are at, to see how they feel about the game. So I jumped in, and I have to say off the bat, I'm quite impressed at the gameplay. We're gonna get into this. Let's do it. Alright, so one thing you'll notice is definitely that DungeonSwap is really active on Twitter. They've got a lot going on. The community's building. Also, they opened up their Discord server as well alongside the game. So things are getting better. The Discord server is nice. I think people are coming together to help each other because, of course, we all want to win together, right? So let's dive into the game and just really take a look at the gameplay, look at how you navigate the screens, because for a lot of us, this is DeFi. So it might look very different to some who are unfamiliar with the DEX, who don't know decentralized applications. This game, and to some it might be like, what is this? Like, really? It is quite different, quite unique. But I can say the formula that they created in this game is going to be duplicated. I anticipate seeing this type of gameplay just with different themes, different characters, different skins down the line. Because I mean, this is a brand new world that we're getting into with GameFi. So a lot of these games are the first of their kind. So I definitely anticipate seeing more like this. And this is a really good model to follow. I don't necessarily want to say that I want people to just copy this gameplay style, but I can definitely see this happening in multiple ways, and different characters, different colors, different themes. It's a really good game. So from the top, of course, you're greeted with the main homepage. It just gives you a quick understanding of the game. And you can actually go to a trading market right here, which is essentially a DEX, just an exchange, where you can swap your BUSD or your BNB for DND tokens right here, right in the game, right in the app. You don't have to go anywhere else. It's actually really cool. Now, the slippage is already set, so I just kind of let it do what its default setting is. Of course, you've got liquidity fountain, you've got fantasy farm, you've got the alchemist pool. All of these are staking options where you can essentially earn more DND tokens and things like that by putting your funds up. I really like what they have going here with this game, because for those of us who are in crypto, we're already familiar with these decentralized exchanges. So the game is essentially built on a decentralized exchange, but it does have real gaming qualities. I mean, there's strategy to it. There's some planning out, of course, going on. There are elements at play. It's actually really cool. In my next update video on this game here, DungeonSwap, I'll definitely be getting into the liquidity fountain, the fantasy farm, alchemist pool, things like that. But for now, I just want to get into the gameplay so that you can get started and essentially to understand more about the core gameplay mechanics. So when you jump in, of course, you're going to have to spend some money. You can do the tutorial, which you definitely have the ability to earn some NFTs, or at least an NFT. When you get that NFT, you definitely want to bring it over to the actual first campaign. And that's going to be 1 DND to actually join. As you see, the jackpot is ridiculous. If you can get through all 10 levels of this dungeon here, you're going to receive a lot of rewards. But of course, you'll need the weaponry, you'll need the armor, and some type of special item if you want to get past all of these characters. It's pretty cool. So now you select your weapon, and you'll notice that the boosting percentage of you winning goes up with weapons that you select, right? You add your armor, and you want to increase the probability of winning. Now you can do a special attack, which does cost DND, but it essentially almost guarantees a win in some cases, right? Now you can also attack for free with a roughly 75% chance of winning at the lower levels. And if you win, great, you just won some D&D and you didn't spend any. But if you lose, you essentially lost the one D&D that you put down to actually enter the dungeon. There's a bit of risk management here, risk and reward. One of the members of my community said it's kind of more like gambling in a way. And I do understand that. I mean, in this world, a lot of things are a gamble, especially if we're dealing with crypto. You attack with your special attack, you have the opportunity to earn rewards, right? As you see to the right of the screen, and you'll see the probability of you winning this actual blade. You'll see some of the statistics of the blade or the weapon, essentially. You'll also see an elemental chart, which is great because some enemies do have an element, some don't. But either way, you'll see just how effective your strategy is going to be. Just take a look there and map it out. The arrows will show you just what beats what. It's quite simple and pretty much plain to understand it. Now, another thing I like about this is that each enemy you face does have a story. And it's really interesting because I can imagine just how hilarious some of these experiences will be as you get deeper. I can imagine just some of these wild experiences with some of these wild creatures that will just show up. I think this game has a really, really good and quite surprising gameplay mechanic. I'm honestly blown away. I found myself having a really hard time just stopping. I was playing and playing, and I played and I lost some D&D. Sometimes I had to buy a couple more. I've definitely earned my D&D back, and I'm just going into it because I learned. I lost several times, but eventually I kind of figured it out, and I could see that there's a strategy to winning. There are times when you simply just have to leave. You've got to take your earnings and go. There are other times where you should probably use a special attack because you have a greater chance of winning, but also there's a greater chance of earning that NFT reward. This game is pretty interesting. Don't be afraid to press escape and take your earnings and enter the dungeon again. And also when you enter, don't be afraid to engage the first one or two enemies with just a basic attack. Because if you win those, you'll essentially earn D&D without spending D&D for your special attack. The trouble is, if you lose those, of course, you lose whatever D&D you spent to actually enter that dungeon. However, DungeonSwap really rewards risk. The payouts are good, and you can always see right there at the bottom left exactly what the D&D token is worth. It's pretty great. All right, so now you have an oxygen meter. Remember, you're diving deep into these dungeons. So there's a timer, and you've got to complete these dungeons in a certain amount of time. Now, when you win, or even during the battles, what you can do is you can cast gas magic, which will pause the timer. When you win battles, you essentially continue. No gas is required to move on to the next enemy. Another thing you can do with this gas magic is, let's just say you win an NFT in this particular fight right now. You can't use it technically until you've had one battle after you've earned or won this NFT. But you can cast some gas magic, so essentially pay some BNB to wipe it clean of some evil spells and such so you can use it in your very next battle. It's very cool. I like that idea, and it just really brings it to a deeper level and makes it even more challenging. But again, like I said, the game really does reward. Just hovering over the NFT equipment, whether it be a weapon, armor, or a special item, you'll see some of the statistics, so such as the category, subcategory, element, rank, power, level, as well as the ID of this particular NFT. The NFT market as well as the smithy are not available just yet, but I assure you with my next update video we'll definitely get into that, or essentially whenever they're available, I'll be talking about it. Now you can also receive NFT airdrops down at the bottom in this NFT airdrop redeem section here. For those of you who actually got into the game early and picked up that NFT airdrop, or maybe there will be NFT airdrops in the future. I definitely look forward to that because I will be a D&D token holder. You can also check out their audit and click the info section there for more details on their code and such if you really want to dive deeper. Let's get into this together. I want to thank you all for checking this one out. Another episode. Look, hit the like button if you really liked it. Definitely check it out yourself if you have any interest. Grab yourself a few D&D tokens and let me know what you think. All the best to you. Until next time, I appreciate this so much. Join the Telegram group right there, and I'll definitely see you in the next one. Take it easy.